Peace, love, and prosperity each and every one of y'all, man. Listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. This is the state of the WWE, where every Tuesday I cover news, rumors. I talk about my own personal topics that I feel that I want to talk about in and around the WWE universe. And today we got a big, massive show. We're going to start off with the breaking news regarding Seth Rollins, man. He might be legitimately injured. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. Tune in. Hopefully, guys.
Welcome to... You're listening to the Wrestling Takeover. What is your name? With your host, Jordan Turner, who's always going to keep it real.
Come on, King.
Inside and outside the ring.
Let me make myself clear.
He's got the fans behind him, King.
It's time to take over, King.
Are you ready?
He's all fired up now, King. The takeover.
Let's go.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all doing? Thank you so much for joining on the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Turner, on the state of the WWE that drops every Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio content. Listen, we got a lot of wrestling conversations to talk about. We have a lot of WWE things that I want to talk about. But before we get into it, guys, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JTTakeover. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast on wherever audio platform you're listening to. Comment down below on each and every one of my videos. I want to be interactive with you guys. I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions, not only on what's going on in WWE, but in and around, the podcast, the show, what things I talked about, etc. So comment down below. I'd appreciate it. Also, spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. Word of mouth does go a long way. Trust me. So if you know anybody that's a wrestling fan and you want them to tap into the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, I would sincerely appreciate it. Listen, we keep it real, all right? We don't shy away from controversy. We don't shy away from real talk. We're authentic. We're honest over here. We're a family over here. I want to keep the peace. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, y'all got to remember. I got to remember it too sometimes. You know what I mean? Because we all be in our field sometimes. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's all love. It's pro wrestling at the end of the day. And best believe it's not that serious. It's really not. You know what I mean? So I want to appreciate everybody and say thank you to those who do listen to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast on YouTube. I really appreciate it, man. I want to make this the best audio podcast in the space, man. And I can't do it without you guys. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much, man. And let's keep it going, man. Like I said, State of the WWE is going to drop every single Tuesday. So y'all could definitely expect that. We got a lot to get to, man. We got a lot, there's just been a lot of WWE, a banter. There's been a lot of, WWE talk, as of late. And we got to start off with the breaking news, man. We got to start off with a disappointing, and honestly, I feel like it kind of feels like this is an every year occurrence, when it comes to Seth Rollins. And before I break down detail by detail what's going on, what happened regarding Seth Rollins getting injured, I want to let everybody know that this is a safe space that you can listen to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast and enjoy what you hear. I know a lot of people might not agree with everything that I say, but the one thing I feel like y'all can't take away from is I'm honest, and this is the most creative wrestling podcast in the game. Y'all know that. You know what I mean? We keep it real over here, and we keep it creative, most importantly. You know what I mean? The most dangerous wrestling show in the space, bro. You want the real talk? You want someone who's going to be authentic and honest and just not sugarcoating anything, but keep it respectful? Tap into the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. You want that creativity? Come to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, man. Like I said, y'all going to get the truth right here. Y'all going to get the real talk regarding the Seth Rollins situation. So check this out. So Seth Rollins, he got injured, as we all know. Apparently, it took place in Australia, Crown Jewel. He suffered an injury. We didn't know what injury it was, but he suffered an injury. Come to find out, it's a shoulder injury. So I was gathering as much information as I possibly can. Y'all know me. Like, for the OGs that know what I'm about to say is, every news that breaks, it's cool. It's funky. People want to jump immediately out and put a podcast up or put a video up, and that's cool. Much love and respect to those people that do that. But for me, I don't do that. I love to wait, buy my time, and wait for new updates to come out. Now, I know there might be even more new updates, but these are the latest that I personally seen today while I was at work. I was jotting down notes, getting ready for the podcast today. So from what I see on Wrestling Observer, Seth Rollins is expected to undergo shoulder surgery as soon as possible. The exact damage of length of time he'll be out is currently unknown, but it will be at least several months. This definitely messes up WWE television. This definitely fucks up a lot of potential plans. And I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you guys my opinions on it. But from first glance, this sucks if you're Seth Rollins. Forget the storyline for a second. Forget what transpired. We know what it is. We've seen it. But I'm speaking from a Seth Rollins fan a point of view. This sucks because this man I feel like he just constantly gets hurt at the wrong time, right? He's on the upper echelon of the card, right? He's the top dog on Raw. He's doing his thing. He's the world champion. And now this dude gets hurt again, And Seth Rollins, I want to be real with you guys. I want to be honest with what I really am about to say. And I never attack pro wrestlers personally. That's not me. That's not my vibe. I ain't rocking that way. You understand? So that's not me. I want to keep the peace. I want to keep it respectful. But at the same time, I got to be real with y'all. Seth Rollins is somebody who busts his ass every day for the WWE. He wants to be the face of the company. He wants to carry the WWE on his shoulders. God bless him for that. That's great. And then you got somebody like Roman Reigns. And what I'm going to say is something it's not me being mean. It's just me being real and understanding the circumstances and the situation that we're in right now. Would you rather be Roman Reigns, somebody who barely shows up? You hardly ever get hurt because there's no reason to get hurt. You're not really wrestling on weekly, WWE television. You are one of the biggest stars or the biggest star in WWE. You're part-timer, so you don't show up every week. You don't get hurt. You're the biggest draw in the game today. And like I said, you don't get hurt. And you're making a lot of money. Now, Seth Rollins is making a lot of money. That's cool. But this dude is there every week, busting his ass. And he gets hurt. And that's the truth. I feel like Seth Rollins doesn't get the love and admiration that he deserves because people feel like, he's not the biggest star. It's Roman Reigns. You feel me? And I know Seth Rollins he's been saying it, out of character, out of pocket, But I know he envies Roman Reigns in some aspect, in some respect, because this dude don't really be showing up. He doesn't really get hurt. There's no reason for him to get hurt because he don't really show up that much. But he gets a lot of his reactions. People love him. People adore him. and he's making the most money. Seth Rollins is making bread too. That's cool. But this dude's busting his ass every single week, and he gets hurt a lot. And that's just the reality that we have to face as Seth Rollins fans. This dude gets hurt a lot. That's something that I feel like people might not want to hear, but it's something that y'all do need to hear, because this man does get hurt, and he gets hurt a lot. And that report coming out now, it's Dave Meltzer. Please take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything that Dave Meltzer says. I'm just reporting the news from what I see. It is gaining traction, so I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion on it and on this situation. It's a fucked up situation, right? You're Seth Rollins. You're busting your ass every week from town to town, house show to live. You're putting in the work, but you don't get the same love and admiration as someone like Roman Reigns do. I'm just speaking facts. Respectfully. You know what I mean? But we got to be honest, and we got to look at the broader picture on where we're sitting right now. Seth Rollins being hurt, this screws up plans. And, I don't want WWE to hide it. I don't want WWE to act like, oh, this wasn't a plan. Nah. What happened on Monday Night Raw, we're going to talk about it right now. What happened on Monday Night Raw, that was supposed to be saved for potentially next year. And the reason why I say next year is there's a report from Fightful that the Vision's attack on Seth Rollins was hinted at as a heavy creative pivot, quote unquote, pivot. Shout out to Ryan Clark of the Pivot. Y'all keep doing y'all thing over there. And it was indicated that the Braun Breaker split wasn't originally planned or in the cards until next year. So was the plan book Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? We're going to get into Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 2 in a little bit. But this whole Seth Rollins and Vision situation, I'm going to keep it P. I don't lie. I don't dance around. I don't sugarcoat. This shit was not working. And this is just a personal opinion. People can think differently. People can think how they want. But for me personally, it wasn't working out. The group wasn't really doing it for me on WWE television, but behind the scenes, it was working, because WWE is establishing 2 new superstars that are going to be one of the, both pillars of WWE in the foreseeable future, with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But the reality of the situation is, from a viewer's perspective, it wasn't working. In some aspects, it was boring, if we're going to keep it real. So this pivot taking place here happened because Seth Rollins was hurt. And we don't know what's going to happen. CM Punk was scheduled to face Seth Rollins, right, at Saturday night's main event. That was the recent report, that we've seen there. It was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus, CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. And now Seth Rollins is believed to suffered a rotator cuff, and you're out for a long time with that. You know what I mean? You're out for a long time with that one. So this is a sticky situation. It sucks as a fan of Seth Rollins. I do feel like he is definitely underappreciated. I feel like a lot of people, it's because Roman Reigns' star power is so big that Seth Rollins is just there. He's just there. We know him. He's a big name, but he's not bigger than Roman Reigns. And that's the truth. And I know Seth Rollins personally has a problem with that. And it is what it is. This is where we're currently at right now. I don't know who's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm assuming, from a creative mind like myself, I'm always creative. I always think of ideas when I'm watching Raw, when I'm watching SmackDown. I always think of creative ideas on how I could improve this storyline, this character, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I'm going to assume, and I might be wrong, and that's fine, but I'm going to assume that we were going to get the Seth Rollins and CM Punk feud taking place at Saturday night's main event. Now that's scrapped. That ain't happening no more. And people are online saying, oh, it might be a ruse again. I don't know if this is a ruse. I don't know if this is a part of an angle. I think this is legit. And I think Seth Rollins legitimately is going to be out. And if he's legitimately going to be out, this sucks. But we got to look at the now. You understand? We got to look at the now and where we sit here. CM Punk, I feel, needs to win the World Heavyweight title. And then they're going to eventually pivot and go somewhere else. Now, I don't know where that something is. And this is the problem. And I want to talk about WrestleMania 42 for a second. So Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns has reportedly been tentatively planned for WrestleMania 42, which I completely agree with. I'll get to that in a second. Quote, Seth Rollins was tentatively planned and scheduled to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. This is coming from Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer Radio. Take him and Wrestling Observer with a grain of salt. Quote, Seth Rollins was scheduled to tentatively face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. I don't know this, but I have been told, see, off the bat, I don't know this, but I have been told enough things to where I expect there would be a turn on Seth Rollins at some point. Now, we already found out what happened there, and we got what we got. Because the whole thing with this faction was that it was not about Seth Rollins. It was about Braun Breaker and making Braun Breaker the next Roman Reigns. Make Braun Breaker the next Braun Breaker. And where's Bronson Reed in this? And this is, I'm going to finish in a second. But what about Bronson Reed too? Bronson Reed needs to be a future top guy too. He needs to be in a high priority role. It's not just about Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed needs to be up there too. Braun Breaker needs to feel important too. You know what I mean? And I get it. It's Braun Breaker. Let's get it. Let's go. I understand that. That's cool. He's going to be in the position where Cody Rhodes is at, where Roman Reigns is at. I understand that. I do. I really understand that, and that's cool. But also, at the same time, no. It's like, it's a crazy situation because, you know, you got Bronson Reed there too. And so that's a little frustrating to read that they're not really considering, you know, Bronson Reed to be one of the, you know, future stars. But, you know, Bronson Reed definitely needs to be in contention for that too. But listen, I understand the Braun Breaker thing. I really do. Now, he finished up by saying, how do you know that? I wasn't told. I was just thinking that's how you end up doing it. But I doubt it was going to happen this early. See, Dave Meltzer respectfully gets himself in a bigger hole when he mentions things of, I was just thinking that's how, you know, it would end up doing it, but I doubt it was going to happen this early. How do you know that? I wasn't told. So he just kind of routes himself out in general, you know? Like I said, don't believe everything Dave Meltzer says. Take everything with a grain of salt. But we look at the picture right now. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, for me personally, should be the plan for WrestleMania 42. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk should be the plan for WrestleMania 42. Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer should be the plan for WrestleMania 42. I genuinely believe those need to be the three big matches for WrestleMania 42. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Now, if I'm WWE, I don't know if they're going to do CM Punk and Roman Reigns, you know, because if you think about it, you know, CM Punk can roll into WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. But I personally feel that should not be the case. That should not be the case. This is just me talking now. That shouldn't be the case. You need to do Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That needs to be the plan, and I hope that's the route that they go. I would, this is tricky because, like I said, me personally, I'm booking Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, but how do you get there? I personally would have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble and challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. That's just me. Now, I know people are probably thinking, oh, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Is that a WrestleMania match? Of course. Of course. And if I say no, I'm going to be lying to myself. I know that. But I feel that Punk and Rhodes, they're both great stories. I would prefer to see Rhodes and Punk at WrestleMania than Orton and Rhodes, which would leave the door open because I genuinely want to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That's the thing. I genuinely want to see that. So if that does happen, Punk winning the Royal Rumble, challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, and Roman Reigns winning the World Heavyweight Championship, coming in, right? And Seth Rollins getting his opportunity back by winning the Elimination Chamber. That's what I would do. I would have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble and challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. Seth Rollins coming in and winning the Elimination Chamber and challenging Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's just my personal opinion. That's kind of where I'm looking at it right now. But at face value, right now, I think CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship needs to be the right call. It really needs to be the right call. And I think it's something that needs to happen. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to bring up LA Knight. I don't know if Triple H really trusts LA Knight. That's my problem. I trust him. I'm a fan of LA Knight. I think he has the whole package. You feel me? Character, in-ring. It's great. But does Triple H trust him? Does creative trust him? Does management trust LA Knight? That's the thing. And if you're choosing Punk over Knight or between the two, you're going to go with Punk. Let's be real. You're going to go with CM Punk. I think CM Punk is going to win the championship if it's vacant. But then again, they can have Braun Breaker win the World Heavyweight Championship. And they can completely, bust up and fuck up plans. So I'm going to really monitor the situation because this shit could go right. This shit can go left. This shit can go up, down, side, whatever. It can go crazy. So I'm going to keep my ear to the ground on this situation with Seth Rollins and you feel me? What's going on? People are saying he's not injured. Listen, if WWE does that again, it's going to kind of be a little lame. Why do that when you're already the World Heavyweight Champion? You feel me? So I don't think they should do it like that, but we'll wait and see. Who knows? But at face value, this sucks. As a Seth Rollins fan, this sucks. And people are going to bring up, oh, he's not durable and he's made of glass, all that shit. And it is what it is, man. Next up, speaking of WrestleMania. All right, speaking of WrestleMania, my bad, y'all. Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley should be saved for WrestleMania 42. And then I'm also about to tackle Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for a second. I'm going to talk about that first and then talk about Vaquer and Rhea Ripley. This whole partnership with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky is genuine. I'm a fan of it. I love what they're doing with Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Io, and Kairi Sane. I think it's cool. All four ladies are very talented. Very talented. And this is one of the best stories actually on Monday Night Raw. For real, in my opinion. But you look at it, and you say to yourself, you got Charlotte Flair, you got Alexa Bliss. They're the women's tag team champions. They've been tag team champs for a while, and that's cool. But are we really going to team up Io and Rhea Ripley? I think they should. And I think they should go after the women's tag team titles. And I think they should win the women's tag team titles. And you can kind of have Io kind of like tell Rhea, like, yo, you had a team with me because, you can't beat me 1v1. And that's going to eat it, Io. Or Rhea Ripley. It's going to piss Rhea Ripley off. Subliminal here and there. Subliminal shots here and there. Nothing too crazy. Don't just immediately come out and say that. But subliminal shots here and there. You feel me? And they win the tag team titles. They have a little run with it. And they lose off of a technicality, miscommunication. Maybe Rhea fucks up. And, Io kind of says something smart. And they lose the titles. And then Rhea Ripley snaps and turns heel. I would have Rhea Ripley turn heel. And I have been saying that on my show. I have been saying that. I would turn Rhea Ripley heel and feud with Io Sky. That's what I would do. No title feud. None of that. They go from winning the women's tag team titles or from challenging the women's tag team titles to winning the women's tag team titles to then losing it off a miscommunication, technicality, and then Rhea Ripley turns heel off frustration because maybe it's something that Io said or done, turns heel, and they feud. Triple H, Michael Hayes, whoever. That's an idea that I think you guys should really consider doing. I pitch ideas over here. Let me know how you guys feel about that idea. From, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley going from winning the tag team titles to splitting up. Rhea Ripley turns heel, and we get a feud between Io and Rhea Ripley. And that would be more of a number one contenders rivalry, feud, as we close this year. And then we get to, it doesn't even have to be a number one contenders. You don't even have to do that. That's fine. They could just be in a feud. And then those two women. This is just me. All right? What if we get all of that? They become a team. They win the tag team titles. They lose them off a technicality. Rhea Ripley's pissed. She's mad. She turns heel off frustration. And we get Io and Rhea Ripley kind of feuding, doing their thing. And we go into the Women's Royal Rumble. And either one or two things would happen if I was in charge, if I had the pen. Either idea number one, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky want to rip each other's throats, go crazy. Rhea Ripley eliminates Io. Io comes back and says, nah, fuck that, nigga. Fuck all that. She comes in and eliminates Rhea Ripley. And they both start duking it out. Pretty similar to Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. And then we get that final encounter at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. It's number one. That's idea one. It's perfect. Take the same blueprint that you took Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels in the Royal Rumble and place it on Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. That's idea one. Idea two. Those are the last two women in the Women's Royal Rumble. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Who wins that match? I would have Rhea Ripley get the upper hand. She has to get some upper hand on Io. Now, Io was beating Rhea Ripley, I believe, twice. Now, she didn't pin Io, but she eliminated Io from the Women's Royal Rumble. That's just as important as eating a pinfall. You feel me? So I would have that. I would have that and have Rhea Ripley eliminate Io to win the Women's Royal Rumble, and Rhea Ripley wastes no time. She wastes no time. Now, fuck we got to figure out who. Nah, nigga. We know who Rhea Ripley going to go up against. We know who Rhea Ripley won't. You feel me? We know this. So I would just not even waste time. Grab that mic immediately after that match is over and says, I want Stephanie Vaquer. And we're going to make it happen. We're going to duke it out at WrestleMania. I mean, it's perfect. You can't get any better than that. Man, I wish I was on the creative team. I really wish I was on the creative team. I'm not saying all my ideas are great, but I mean, actually, I kind of am. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. So, like I said, I don't think with an imaginary mind. You feel me? I'm different than these cats. I bring logic to the table, and I actually explain myself. I don't just pitch ideas and be like, yeah, let's move on. Nah, nigga, like, I pitch ideas, I explain my ideas, and I give a reason why I'm even coming up with these ideas. This is perfect for Rhea Ripley. Those two right there. Frustration. You win the women's tag team titles, and Io was the reason why y'all lost. You're frustrated. You turn on her, and then y'all feud. Going into WrestleMania in a 1v1 Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels style 1v1 match at WrestleMania. Picture perfect. Number 2, they win the women's tag team titles. They lose them off of technicality because Io Sky fucked up. You know what I mean? And they are in the Women's Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley needs to get some sort of revenge on Io. All right, bet. I'm not going to pin your ass, but I'm going to eliminate your ass in the Women's Royal Rumble. And I'm going to win the Women's Royal Rumble, and I'm going to go face Stephanie Vaquer 1v1 at WrestleMania like people want. I get the Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley shit. I understand that. That's cool. I get you. But you can't pass up on this one, bro. You can't pass up on this one. And I don't want to see Vaquer versus Ripley before WrestleMania, bro. If it happens, it is what it is. I'm not the head booker. I'm not in charge. But that needs to happen at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley. Come on, bro. And if Naomi was still around, Jade Cargill, Naomi, Bianca Belair, triple threat for the Women's WWE Championship. Come on, bro. I know the game, bro. I know this. But now, with that being different from what it is, I don't know. We'll have to see. But those three, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, and Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley, Triple H, the creative team. You're going to do whatever you want, and that's fine. But those 3 matches need to be priorities going into WrestleMania. Going into Vegas, those need to be priority matches. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. That could work. But let me know how y'all feeling about it. I want to talk about Julia. And my frustration with Julia in WWE. So I'm not going to be long. But this is just a fan who's just frustrated with the way Julia has been presented on WWE television. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to holler. I'm not going to do that. Stephanie Vaquer and Julia came up pretty much at the same time in NXT, right? They did their thing in NXT. People were fans of Stephanie Vaquer. People were fans of Julia. They were doing their thing. And, Julia, she won the Women's North American title. NXT Women's Champion. Stephanie Vaquer, double champ. So they did their thing in NXT. We get to the main roster, and this shit completely shifted. I don't know what happened. Stephanie Vaquer is getting all world. I love her. Big fan. Bless her. She's killing it. I love Stephanie Vaquer. She cool. What is happening to Julia? Now, Jordan, stop complaining. She's the women's, United States champ. I hear y'all. Respect. I hear y'all. Y'all right on that. She is the women's United States champion. But my nigga, let's be real. Do you care that she's women's United States champion? Has she done anything quintessentially as important as a Becky Lynch with the women's Intercontinental title. I'll wait. Can't come up with nothing, huh? Because it never happened. It never happened. Her run's been terrible. Not her fault. It's creative's fault. But I'm here to be honest with y'all. Her run has been terrible. Julia, really good at English, getting better and better. Stephanie Valker, good English, getting better and better. Julia is just as big or bigger than Stephanie Valker in terms of where she came from to where she is now. Let's be real. She is. Social media went crazy when Julia was on the screen at NXT. So don't play me. People know who she is. I think Julia honestly needs to find something that's going to get the fans going crazy. Now I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real with y'all. Stephanie Valker found hers. The kiss of death. Or whatever you call it. If you know, you know. Shout out to Booker T, man. Shout out to Booker T. So she found her groove. She's real. She's authentic. She cuts promos. She can speak great English. Stephanie Valker is going to be over as hell, man. She's going to be a killer. Be a future face of the women's division. Let's not leave Julia behind, though. Let's not leave Julia behind. It was just frustrating from where they both were in NXT. Popular, throwing it down, doing business, to one of them succeeding to the highest degree so fast. And you got Julia. The Women's United States Champion. True. Her reign, not good. Momentum, not there. Triple H need to do better. You're booking the Women's United States Champion like dog shit. Respectfully. And then you got Becky Lynch. Let's get into Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, for me, is one of the greatest of all time. Love Becky Lynch. I know when people hear these type of things, they're going to be like, oh, you're going to completely be negative towards this specific person that you're talking about. No, I'm actually not. I'm actually going to defend Becky Lynch. Love Becky Lynch. Her IC title reign has been very entertaining. It really has. Really, really has. Her feud with Lara Valkyria, really, really great. I'm hoping her feud with AJ Lee can start soon. Would love to see that. But Becky Lynch is somebody that is one of the greatest of all time. She's putting people over tremendously. She's doing what she's got to do. And her theme song, listen, I like it. That's all that matters. Some people don't like it. It is what it is. I don't. Listen, if you don't like it, that's your prerogative. But for me, I love it. You know what I mean? But I feel like Becky Lynch is not getting the appreciation that she deserves. Like, she's getting it, but she's not getting it at the same time. You feel me? Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of rocky. You understand? Like, she's getting it, but she ain't. But I feel like Becky Lynch is going to be missed when she's gone. I genuinely feel that way. Same with Roman Reigns. Same with Seth Rollins. Like, these particular big time, players are going to be missed when they're gone. And Becky Lynch is going to be one of those people. So, people really need to appreciate Becky Lynch more. Because I feel it in my heart, man. I feel like her time is coming to an end really, really soon. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just do. My gut is telling me that. But listen, I think Becky Lynch is doing one of the best works of her entire career. She's killing it right now. I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch. I really, really am. And we just really got to appreciate her a little bit more. You know what I mean? And, she, have her do what she got to do, Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It's real interesting to see, the perspective that people have of Becky Lynch and people have of her, and knowing that, she's one of the best of all time for sure. And I feel like people need to start giving her a little bit more appreciation and respect. That's just me. But let me know how y'all feeling about it. So we are going to talk about WWE things, or WWE changing things for creative on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's be real. Friday Night SmackDown is a boring show. The best thing about that show is Sami Zayn and the United States Championship. Simple. Sami Zayn is doing some of the best work of his entire career. He's killing it right now. So his United States Championship run, for me personally, is the best thing on that show. For sure. Absolutely 110%. I am not a big Sami Zayn fan, though. I'm really, really not. But I can't discount what he's been doing as United States Champion. The Tag Team Championship has some promise. It's getting there. It's better than Monday Night Raw. I'll tell you that right now. Off the cuff. Right, y'all want Raw, real talk? Straight up. The Raw Tag Team division, terrible. SmackDown, it's pretty good. They got some teams. So they're doing work with it. So shout out to Triple H for that. Do the same thing for Monday Night Raw, please. But as a whole of a show, SmackDown's terrible. The world title scene's boring. The world title scene is very, very boring. WWE, I'm going to talk about this right now so I can get this topic over with, because I don't want to talk about it more in depth. I just want to talk about it real quick. It's now or never with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. You need to really do this feud. You need to stop waiting. We know what's going to happen. Please just do the feud. Have this be the feud going into the new year. Please. Do the feud unless you're saving it for WrestleMania. If you're saving it for WrestleMania, that's fine. But I feel like you need to start this feud imminently. Like, you need to start this shit. Because respectfully, this whole teasing thing is getting old. And Triple H does too much of the long-term storylines. He does it way too much. And he does it to a point where it's like, you're doing it far too much, and it's far gone at this point that I don't even care about it anymore, because you just kept, pushing things off and pushing things off. You got to know when it's the right time to strike. No pun intended. Right now, though, it's the right time to strike with this feud with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Because Cody Rhodes, his title reign has not been good. It hasn't. That's not his fault. That's WWE's fault. He needs an actual storyline outside of the bloodline and Roman Reigns. He has not had that storyline yet. He hasn't. And I think this is the perfect story with him and Randy Orton. So you need to pull the trigger, WWE. Please stop waiting. Please. Because you're waiting too long. Unless you're going to do it at WrestleMania, that's fine. But I feel like you got to speed it up. That's my opinion on Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. But WWE reportedly set to be going under. Let me repeat that again. I'm sorry. WWE is reportedly set to be undergoing creative changes to their team to improve the overall product. Road Dogg is to remain head of creative on SmackDown. Okay. But there are set to be additions to the team to make the show, quote, more enjoyable moving forward. Triple H, Michael Hayes, everybody. I have a podcast. This is the Wrestling Takeover podcast. I pitch a lot of creative ideas. I feel like your boy can provide some good ideas, bro. I'm on Twitter at JT Takeover, on Twitter, at Instagram at the Wrestling Takeover. DM me, man. Let's get it going. I would love to write for the WWE. I'm talking out of my ass. This is not happening. But I really would love to write for the WWE, because I feel like I can bring a lot of things to the table. A lot of people can. I feel like a lot of fans, I feel, can bring some creativity. But man, those ones though that really are creative, they hit different. I'm one of those people, respectfully. Moving on. Road Dogg He's going to remain there. That's cool. Fine. He has a click with Triple H. He ain't leaving that spot. We already know what it is. Fine. You need to bring people in who are avid watchers of pro wrestling, of WWE, who know the product, who watch the product religiously, and most importantly, they know what's going on week after week. That is what we need, and I feel like that's what needs to happen. I really feel like that's what needs to happen, because you cannot be just signing these people or bringing these people in and they don't know what's going on with the WWE product. You understand? So I feel like that needs to happen, and I feel like that does need to be taking place, where you need to bring in people who want to see the product grow, who want to see the business grow, and who are fans of the business. You know what I mean? Bring in new guns. Bring in new people. And this is what I really want to talk about too. I'm going to just get into it right now. I was actually going to start off with this specific topic, but we've seen the news of Seth Rollins. But I'm going to get into this specific topic right now. So we recently seen on Bound for Glory, TNA. They killed it. Shout out to Santana for becoming the new TNA champion. Oh, by the way, TNA has a TV deal imminently approaching. I'm interested to see where that is going to lie. And wherever that goes, if it is on a streaming platform and I have it, I don't know, I might be covering TNA. I don't know. We'll see. But we seen Leon Slater and Javon Evans. They went toe-to-toe. I'm going to be honest. They had one of the best matches of the year. I'm going to say that right now. They had one of the best matches of 2025. Undisputed. Those are two black men that killed it. If you give black people a position to go out there and showcase their talents, they could deliver. They really can. All right? We could do it too. We could do it too. Some real talk. You know what I mean? But forget all that. This is what I really want to talk about. Young people who are like myself and many others who want to be in the business as a writer, a producer, whatever, commentator, just want to be in the business. We know what people want to see. We just do. We're in the trenches. We're on social media. We know. You know what I mean? And we have a lot of, how do I put this? Older individuals who are in higher power, who either don't know anything about professional wrestling and they're just in higher power. They don't know anything about wrestling, but they know business. But they have people that know wrestling that are surrounding them. So that's one of them. Number two, you have people who are in the business, who are old timers and are still stuck in the past in terms of a booking philosophy and mindset. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to talk to y'all for a second. Those people, they got to respectfully be moved out. We need new voices. We need new guns that talk pro wrestling, that write about professional wrestling. Because Slater and Javon Evans are the future of this business. People like them. Young women who are killing the game right now. In WWE, AEW, TNA, whatever. Young youth is what's in. And we cannot keep having, respectfully, we cannot keep having these older people booking for these younger talents. They don't know any of the slang. They don't know any of that. They don't know the hips. They don't know that. We do though. So we need people. We need our people who are young and know the game of pro wrestling today and what people want to see in those positions instead of the older individuals who think they know but they don't, who are respectfully out of touch. That's my piece on that particular situation that I wanted to talk about with y'all. Now, the creative side of things, going back to what I wanted to talk about. The creative side of things of SmackDown, listen. If Road Dogg really is in charge right now, he needs to, respectfully, Triple H needs to have him sit down for a second and fuck the friend-to-friend thing. Nah, forget all that. Forget all that. He needs to talk to him man-to-man respectfully and say, yo, you are struggling. Where's the creative? Where's the juice? You don't have it. If you don't have it, we're going to have to put somebody else in there. Put somebody else that knows what's going on, that's hip to the game, and the culture and stuff like that. Multiple cultures, you know what I mean? And that knows what to do. You know, these older individuals, man, trying to book for the youth, it looks weird to me. It really, really does. And I just, point blank period, I just think we need new blood in charge in these pro wrestling streets, bro. I do. I really, really do. But let me know how y'all feeling about that conversation. Because like I said, I love bringing controversy. Not controversy, but just controversial conversations that I feel like just people are afraid to talk about. I'm not afraid. I'm always going to talk about them right here on this podcast. But let me know how y'all feeling about that. That Road Dogg situation is very, very interesting. You know, if it's not him, is Ryan Ward still on the creative team? He was killing it on SmackDown all those years ago. Ryan Ward was killing the game in 2018, 2019 for WWE, man. Some of the best wrestling storylines, character development, matches came from Ryan Ward. Shout out to Ryan Ward. I know he's probably still there. But, yeah, we need SmackDown to go back to that. Because SmackDown is unwatchable. It really is. But let me know how y'all feeling about that specific topic. We are going to end it, man. And listen. We're going to end it here with Def Rebel. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying this podcast. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying these conversational topics. And like I said, spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover podcast because word of mouth does go a long way. Be sure to subscribe to the Wrestling Takeover podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio content. Let's talk about this Def Rebel situation real quick. So, sources indicated to bodyslam.net that Def Rebel are currently on their last contract with the company, but no timetable has been given regarding when their contracts expire. Another source indicated that the company is also expected to do some work with outside artists when it comes to music in the future, as they have recently with the likes of Meg Rand, Adam Jones, and incredibly, talents have been frustrated. No shit, they've been frustrated. Come on, man. Talents have been frustrated with not having much of an input. Yeah, that's crazy. So these people have no input with their music. So it seems that WWE may be finally listening to squash that frustration. I usually would say cap, but I'm not going to say cap. I think they are going to squash it. Listen, it's so funny because I thought it was just the wrestling fans that were just frustrated with this shit. Even though that's bullshit. We all knew that, we all knew that the wrestlers were frustrated. Like, we knew this. You know what I mean? So it was a matter of time that this type of report was going to come out. I'm not surprised. Def Rebel respectfully needs to go. Majority of their music was terrible. Some of them had some hits in there, but majority of it's not working. We need new fresh faces. We need new blood. Go get CFO money back, please, even though they just disbanded. So can't get that. Jim Johnson, people are pulling for Jim Johnson to come back. I don't know if WWE's going to do that. They want to be hip. They want to be cult to the game. They want that hip hop. They want that rap. They want that rock, and that's good. That's good. They need a licensed music. And just like Becky Lynch has her new music, we need to get more for all of the wrestlers, not just the top superstars. So We need to do that for everybody. And music is a lost art in WWE. And it's laughable, but it's frustrating. Like, come on, WWE. You got all the resources. And you don't want to put that into the music. That's crazy. That's crazy. Got me fucked up. I'd absolutely, you feel me, put money into that. WWE? I mean, it's TKO. TKO fucking, TKO, man. Listen, TKO Holdings, y'all crazy. It is what it is, man. But, yes, these pro wrestlers need better music. And it's great that WWE is finally listening to the pro wrestlers and also to the fans, because us fans have been pushing for this for many, many years with Def Rebel. They're not good. They got some hits here and there, but majority of it is not good. But peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, the most creative and honest podcast in the wrestling space. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes. We keep it real, but we also keep it respectful. Peace and blessings to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.